Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. So we've had several people ask for us to do a piece that goes on top of a stone for a cemetery arrangement, and so that's what we were going to work on today. So the supplies that I have include a foam bar. We ordered these I want to say I ordered them from Ludwig, and they all come, I don't even know how long this is, but I'm actually gonna take just a little bit of this piece off, shorten it just a little bit. I've got two bundles, which is 12 in a bundle, so I have 24 pieces of leather leaf. That is a silk leather leaf. Now you can use any greenery that you have available. Leather leaf is not the only greenery out there, but that's what we're going to use today. I have a beautiful bush of silk flowers. So these flowers came from a company called Legs Manufacturing. Lots of beautiful colors, really happy, pretty purple flowers today. We have what we call a stone rack, which is a metal piece that holds the flowers on top of a stone. I have a couple of these are like a plastic, it's hard to see, but it's a plastic U pin. And we usually glue these in to hold the foam to the rack. And then I've got my pick machine. This is a steel pick machine. I'm having a hard time getting that greenery to pick into that hard styrofoam. So I did bring out my steel pick machine and then my handy dandy wire snips. I'm gonna set my supplies down here. I don't need that rack until the very end, so there's no need in it being up here in the way. I'm going to start out with taking my foam, and I am going to score it. I usually use a floral knife, but I use the back side of the floral knife. I just score that, and I take it and I lay it on the edge of my workspace on my countertop, and then just pop it, and it'll just pop it apart. Save this styrofoam. You can use it for other projects, so be sure to save that. So I have popped my styrofoam. Now you can leave it long, you can cut it even shorter if you want to. Next, what I'm going to do is take my leather, and it has pretty long stems. You can see the stems are pretty long. I like to take them and trim those up. So I cut about 2 inches off the bottom because I don't need them this long. So I'm just taking my wire snips and trimming those up. I find it inserts into that foam much easier if you trim up those stems. So I'm actually going to do that with both bundles. I'm going to just take and trim up those stems. Now my wire snips are from Cobalt, and I think I picked these up from Lowe's. You can order them off of, you can order them on Amazon, but they are wonderful. I think these are actually in our Amazon storefront. They cut easily, and they easily go in a drawer, so they're easy to store. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you really quickly how to use a pick machine. If you don't have a pick machine is not necessary. I have just found that some people have pick machines and they need to learn how to use them, but I've also found that with this stem, a pick goes easier into the foam than just the stem. Now, if you don't have a pick machine, let me show you really quickly how to do that. I didn't discuss my glue pan. This is just a glue pan I ordered on Amazon also. You can pick these glue pans up at your local craft store. I think Hobby Lobby does carry them, but you can get them at a local craft store also. I have taken hot glue, and you can use glue sticks. I actually use glue pellets, and the pellets are made specifically for a hot glue pan, but sticks melt just as well. I'm going to dip that stem right down into that glue, and then I'm going to push that stem right into that floral foam. And quite honestly, when you cut these short enough, it works out fine. If you leave the stem too long, it's hard to insert without bending. So you can see I just stuck that foam right down in there. Let me show you how to use a pick machine though. I'm going to take and bend that end so it's kind of a little U. I'm going to lay it into my pick machine, and then I'm going to push this handle back and then pull the handle forward to load a new pick. There's a pick added on. I like to dip mine into the glue and then press it into that foam. It just gives a little bit, it's just a little sturdier of a stem when you use a pick machine. But again, the pick machine is not necessary. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. Do the outer shape first, so you see it's kind of a diamond shape. So I filled out the outer edges. Now you see how I've kind of bent them down. What that's going to do is, it's when you go to put this on top of a the stone, they're not all sticking out straight, because they'll stick out straight. So if you'll give them just a little bit of bend, you can kind of see, it's going to keep them from looking like it's going to fly away. To just take each stem, dip it down in the glue, and it's not going to come out. Okay, so there is our greened out piece. And you see how it kind of comes down on the edges. And again, you can take each of those little stems, they all bend. And so it's not going to sit like it's going to fly off that stone. Now you can add ribbon at this point if you want to. For this arrangement, I'm not going to add ribbon. I'm going to take, I've got glue hanging off my hand. I'm going to now take my flowers. So this is a floral bush. I don't even know, I think it's got 32 stems on it. So I'm going to take and cut each of these flowers off of this bush. So I'm using my floral snips, and I'm cutting every single stem off of this bush. Now y'all, I don't know if you've ever bought anything from Legs Manufacturing. They are it's really good quality, and they're very quick, and they're really good to work. I mean, they have been so kind, and they're so happy to work with you in anything that you need. And I've been very pleased with their quality, and their price is wonderful too. So I'm just taking and I am cutting each of those stems off of my bush. Now anytime you're working with artificial flowers, go ahead and cut them all off of the one stem that they're attached to. It's going to make such a prettier arrangement. So for me, I like to separate these into types. So I'm actually going to kind of lay them out and separate them into types, because then I know how many of each stem I have. Now when I have a bush that's as large as this one, sometimes if we need just a smaller arrangement, we may split it. We may not use all the blooms in the same arrangement. We may split it up, which is really nice. And you feel like you got a lot for your money. Okay, take my bloom, and I kind of figure out where I want it. So I'm dipping it in that glue and pressing it right down into that foam. The nice part about these artificial blooms is they very easily bend, and you can adjust them as you need to. So I like to take, I'm taking this filler, and I'm going to use it kind of as a lime flower. And so I'm going to design this just as if I was doing a casket piece. Again, you can add ribbon if you want to. If I was going to add ribbon, I usually add it about right now before I add all of my flowers in place. So I just take my snips and I trim it as I need to. And so I like to put a long piece on each end, and then one in the middle, and then I'm going to work around that. So one here and one across the piece here, and I kind of mirror Really, you can design it any way you want to. You can get fancy or you can be simple. It's really completely up to you, okay? I don't really think there's a right or a wrong here. This is how I do it. With my largest flower, which is kind of this hibiscus, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So next, we're going to come in with our next flower, trim it as you need to, dip that right into the glue, and press it into place. All right. So there's our purple flowers, our dark purple, kind of added in. Next, we're going to come in with our glue on my finger. Next, we'll come in with our ranunculus. So we've got our pretty purple ranunculus. And I'm calling these by name, but it may not really be a ranunculus, but it's pretty. Whatever it is, it works. So that one doesn't really need to be trimmed, so I'm just taking it and dipping it in the glue. All right, there's our pretty purple ranunculus. But you see, when you use them, when you take them and lay them in their own, in each section, then you feel like you get your flowers all the way through. And next we'll come in with our Gerbera daisies. And I'm dipping that stem right down into that glue. I love this pretty purple. I think it really looks nice. The nice thing too about purple is that I think it could go for a man or a lady. It doesn't necessarily have to just be for a lady. And gosh, I'm so thankful that I went and visited Janet's flower shop to see how she does them, because this is so much better than anything I've done in a long time. All right. And there is our finished product. So again, there's just flowers all the way through, and they're just different shades. This actually came on a bush, but you don't have to necessarily find a bush that has all the mixed flowers. You can actually use several different bushes or stems to make a pretty arrangement. But there's our arrangement. Next, how I like to attach. Now, if I was going to display this here in the store, I'm probably not going to put the rack on it. It's so much easier to display it just hanging on a nail on the wall without the rack than it is with the rack. But let me show you how to attach that. So I'm going to pick up my little stone rack here. Now this is a metal piece. Now Legs does have stone topper racks, but they're actually a plastic, which are really nice. They're really nice. We've just always used these metal pieces. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to press my foam. It's got some little stakes on each end. So I'm just going to press my foam right down onto those little stakes that are on there. Just like that. I just pressed it right in. And next what I'm going to do is, these are those little they're just a plastic little U clip. I'm going to dip it down into my glue, and I am just going to press it right into that foam. Now I like to use my wire snips because it's a little hard to push it with your hands, but I just hammered it right down into that foam. And I'll probably put about 4 of these to make sure it's well attached. And then there is your stone topper. Now this will just bend and bend right down on top of the stone. Those little wire arms just bend and clip to that stone. But there is our stone topper. And I do love the shape. It looks so much better than what I've done before. But there you have it. That's just a very simple way to make a stone topper for the cemetery. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at our flower shop, you can always ask. And if you ever want to send a picture and say, hey Monty, I'd like to see how this is made, I can try to figure it out. We always love new suggestions for videos. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have not already subscribed to our channel, we'd love for you to do that. Hit that subscribe button right down below. And if you hit that bell, it'll give you notifications for when we have a new video. Guys, have a great evening. We'll see you soon.